This is Dr. Susan Thrall. I'm going to show you how to do calculated controls on a form. I would recommend that you go to Course Documents in Blackboard and print out the document Calculated Controls on a Form and follow the steps along as we perform this. This video is going to go over how to do the calculation. Another video will show how to get the calculation onto a different form. Before you, you have the Panorama database, and this is the invoice table. So you can see it has invoice number, date, item, amount, and so on. So we're going to create a form from this. And then we're going to go into Design View. So you can see the form I created has all the fields in it. And we are in Layout View. So we're going to go to Design View. Now step one to doing a calculation is to open the form or subform in a window in Design View. You want to make sure you have enough room to place the label or control box to do the calculation. As you can see in Design View, there's not much room anywhere. So I'm going to go to the form footer and drag out an amount of space that will give me enough room to place the new control that's going to do the calculation. So I just drag out the form footer in this case. Now to do a calculation, you drag a text box, so make sure you're on the Design tab, choose Text Box, and I'm going to drag a rather large one, just so we can see it and have plenty of room. Notice when you drag a control, you have the label for the control, and this one is called Text 12. Yours might be called Text with some other number, and in the unbound box is where we put the calculation. The first thing we're going to do is set the name property of the text box to a good standardized access name. And to do that, we pull up the property sheet, and there are many properties here. The name is on the Other tab, and you can see it's called Text 12. We're going to change it to TXT to tell that it's a text box, and we're going to sum up the invoices. So I'm going to call it Total of all invoices. The final step is to set the control source property for the formula. The control source property is what actually holds the formula, and that property is on the Data tab, or of course you can also see it if you click the All tab. Now you can type in the formula here, or you could use the Build button. Typing in the formula is very easy. You start with an equals. You put the name of the calculation you are doing. So if you were going to add up them all, you would use sum. If you were going to calculate an average, you'd use average. If you were going to do the standard deviation, you'd use STD, and so on. So I'm going to just sum them all up. So I'm going to use sum. And then in parentheses, you give the name, the actual name of the field that you want to sum up. Now the names of the fields are over here on the form in the detail section, and I'm going to sum up invoice amount. So in parentheses, I type in invoice amount, making sure I spell it and space it correctly. That's all there is to it. So when I go to Form View, I can see down below, here is my calculated control. Here's the amount right here, which is the sum of all invoices. Now certainly this doesn't look very good, so we could go back and set other properties to make it look better. So for example, I can format it into currency format, set it to say 0 decimal places or 2 decimal places, view it again, and you can see it looks much better. So the sum of all my invoices is that $1 million figure. Now what about this? This is text 12. That doesn't look good. So to change the text 12, we go back to Design View, click on that part of the item, that label that goes with our text box. As you can see, the format caption 12, text 12 is here, and we want to change the caption to something like total of all invoices. Go back to Form View. We can't see it, it's cut off. Go back to Design View to adjust it. So when I want to move the calculation box over by itself, I go to the large square dot in the upper left corner to move it over. And then for the total, I just drag that out until I can actually see the entire title. And notice now I have total of all invoices, $1,763,575. I have a good caption that humans can see. I have this in currency format and it looks good. So what I've done is put a calculated control onto the main form. Going back to my table, and if you're unsure if this did the correct answer, you can of course scroll down to the bottom of your records, click the Totals button, go to the Invoice column, choose Sum, and there you will see the total of your invoices, which is exactly the same as what we calculated on our form. So that's how easy it is to do a calculated control on the form. In the next video, we will look at how you get or reference a calculated control that you did in one place to appear in another place.